Hello everyone. In the series of our lectures where we are analyzing the text of the drama Macbeth, so far we have analyzed the text of two scenes of Act First of this drama, and in our previous lectures we have analyzed the text of scene third halfway through. And just a quick remind where we have left in our previous lecture. As scene third starts, Macbeth and Banquo meet three witches, and these witches made few predictions for both these men. And when Macbeth wants to know something more about his future, suddenly the witches vanish. So till this point we have analyzed the text of scene third. I am just sharing the text where we have left in our previous lecture so that you can understand the text in a better way. Yes, so this is the point where we have left our previous analysis. So in the last, as you can see in the bracket, witches vanish. So this was the last line where we have left our discussion. Now from this we'll start forward. So as the scene progresses, Banquo. The earth hath bubbles as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished? So when the witches vanished, Banquo made a statement, and he said that as the water has bubbles, in the same manner these witches are also like bubbles, and these are earthly bubbles. And he also says that where have these witches disappeared? Banquo, into the air. And now Macbeth replies that these witches might be disappeared into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. And Macbeth says that they seem to have real physical bodies, but they have disappeared into the air like breath. Would they have had stayed? And Macbeth also wished that they had stayed a bit longer so that I can ask them something more about my future. Now Banquo, what such things here as we do speak about? Now Banquo says that I can hardly believe that such creatures as we are talking about were present here. Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner? And Banquo says that, or we have eaten some herbs that cause madness. So in this way, Banquo is not able to believe that they have really experienced the witches in front of their eyes. Now Macbeth, your children shall be kings. Now Macbeth says to Banquo that as the witches predicted, your children will going to get the kingship of Scotland. Banquo, you shall be king. And Banquo says that as the witches predicted that you shall be the future king of Scotland. Macbeth, and Thane of Cawdor too. And Macbeth also adds to Banquo's statement that I'll become 10 of quarter also, as the witch is predicted. Who is there? Sorry. Macbeth and 10 of quarter too went in not so. And Macbeth also says that did not they say so? Banco to the self same tune and words means they said exactly so. Who is there? It means there are some other persons also. Enter Rose and Angus. And now the two more characters, Rose and Angus. These are the messengers of King Duncan. Rose, the king hath happily received Macbeth, the news of thy success. And Rose says that the king has happily received the news of the success of Macbeth at the battlefield. And when he heard about your brave deeds, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend, which should be thine of his. And Rose also says that when the king heard about your brave deeds in fighting against the rebels, his heart was filled with two contending forces, wonder at your exploits and his desire to reward you for your deeds. Silenced with that, in viewing over the rest of the self-same day, he finds thee in the stout Norwegian ranks. Rose says that for a while the king was struck dumb. Reviewing the remaining incident of the same day, he found that your bravery made your passage through Norwegian forces nothing afeard of what thyself didst make, strange images of death. And you were not afraid at making heaps of dead bodies in the battlefield. Ah, thick as hell, composed with post, and everyone did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defense, and bowed them down before him. Messenger after messenger. Post with post means messenger after messenger came in quick succession, and every messenger told him about your praiseworthy deeds in defense of the kingdom. Angus, now the second messenger, speaks. We are sent to give the from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee. Angus says that the king has sent us to give you thanks, that you have served the country in a brave way. We have been charged to lead you to his majesty's presence, and you will soon be rewarded. Rose, and for an earnest of a greater honor, for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor. And Rose says that as a proof of a great honor to follow, His Majesty has ordered me to greet you as the Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail most worthy Thane, for it is thine. This is your title. With this title, let me welcome you, my most noble lord. So in this way, the Second prediction of the witches came true, where they have addressed Macbeth with the title Ten of Cawdor. So the second prediction of the witches came true. Banquo aside, what can the devil speak true? Now Banquo says that, oh, can the witches speak true? Macbeth, the Ten of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress in borrowed robes? Macbeth says that the Ten of Cawdor lives, and why do you address me with a title which belongs to another? Angus, who was the Ten lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserved to lose. Angus says that the man who was the Thane of Cawdor is still alive, but he is living under sentence of death. Whether he was combined with those of Norway or did line the rebel with hidden help and vantage, or that with both he laboured in his country's wreck, I know not, but treason capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him. Angus says that he deserved this sentence. I do not know whether he allied himself with the King of Norway, or he helped the rebels secretly, or whether he did both the crimes and acted against his country. But acts of treason, which are punishable by death, have been proved against him. He has accepted them, and this is the cause of his downfall. Macbeth aside, Glamis and Thane of Cawdor, the greatest is behind. Now Macbeth is thinking that he has become Thane of Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind, and now the greatest honor, as predicted to him, is to follow in future. To Rose and Angus, thanks for your pen. To Banquo, do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promise no less to them? Now Macbeth is talking to Banquo, and he says to Banquo that do you not hope that your children shall be kings? The witches that predicted for me the title of Thane of Cawdor promised kingship to your children. So in this way, Macbeth is reminding Banquo that the prediction made by witches for me have come true, and as they have predicted about you also, that your children will get the kingship of Scotland. Banquo, that trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange. Banquo says that these witches, whom if you trust, might instigate you to aspire after the kingship, in addition to the title of Thane of Cawdor, and oftentimes to win us to our harm The instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us with honest trifles, to betrays in deepest consequences. And Benko says that, but it, it often happens strangely that these agents of devil, instrument of darkness means agents of devil, tell us truth in unimportant matters. Honest trifles means unimportant matters, to betrays in deepest consequence, in order to win our confidence and involve in matters of deepest import. Cousins, a word I pray you, and now I request you to have a word with me. Macbeth aside. Now Macbeth is talking to himself. Two truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. Now Macbeth is thinking that two predictions have come true. They are a prelude to the great honor of kingship that is to follow. I thank you, gentlemen. Aside, this supernatural soliciting cannot be ill. Now, Macbeth convey his thankfulness to the both messengers, and now he is thinking within that this supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good, and he is thinking that this prompting received from the words of spirits can neither be ill nor be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success? If it is ill and deception, why its prediction about me successful and true? I am Thane of Cawdor, that I have become Thane of Cawdor now. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion, whose horrid image doth unfix my hair? And he is thinking that if it is good, that the prediction made by these witches are good, then why does the thought of murder come to my mind? Now, a thought of murdering the king has come into the mind of Macbeth. And from here, the downfall of Macbeth also starts. And make my seated heart knock at my ribs. And Macbeth thinks that it makes my hair stand on ends. It makes my heart knock against my sides. Against the use of nature, present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder is yet but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man, that function in smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not. Macbeth thinks that its very imagination is horrible. It makes my hair stand on ends. It makes my heart knock against my sides. It is so unnatural. The vision of future appears more horrible than the fears I have to encounter at present. The thought of murdering the king is at present only a fancy in my mind, but it has shaken my mental structure. In short, my mind has stopped functioning. Nothing is real to me now except what is unreal and non-existent.